Dazzling morning, everyone. We, the Department of English, log into our first offline program in our campus. It is a double delight for many because we get the chance to listen to literary terms and literary works after a long break. In order to furnish our special day with special people across our nation, let us invoke the blessings of the Omnipotent. Shall we stand up for Tamil Thai Valthu? Thank you, everyone. Light always stands for positive note and affirmative sign. To ignite this scholastic conglomeration and spread knowledge, may I now invite the dignitaries on stage to lit up the lamp of wisdom. Please, everyone. First, I request Ms.Bama, the renowned writer, to light up the lamp. Please, ma'am. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Shahila Zafar. It is the turn of Dr. Zaved Ahmed Khan. Sir, please. It's the turn of our head of the department now. And I would like to invite Dr. Raj Kumaran, one of the spearheads of this international conference. Please, sir. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Welcoming is a special trait of Tamilians, and at MEPCO, hospitality is a cornerstone. To receive the elite gathering for our international conference, I request Dr. C. Ganga Lakshmi, head of the Department English, to deliver welcome address.
A very fine good morning to one and all present here. I'm really happy to deliver the welcome address. Actually, we have welcomed a lot of people for this conference with the objective of imparting some research inputs to the budding researchers, as well as some research insights to the persons who have already done a lot of research and who are thinking where to start with again. So, a conference is a place where everyone comes together to share knowledge and to gather rich inputs and then share what they have received with their own peers. So, with that objective, we started this conference. And while starting this conference, we had a lot of things in mind. One thing, we were very clear that we should invite some persons who are really good in creative writing. That's why we plan to choose persons from one from Tamil Nadu, especially from southern Tamil Nadu, and one from other country. So from that, in that angle, we were very happy to get the consent of Burma ma'am, because we have gotten through some of her novels really mesmerizing, and she has given in her novels a lot of problems which are experienced by the marginalized people. So we wanted to have her ideologies being shared with us, and furthermore it is going to be a real insight for many of the people to who are having some aspirations towards the creative writing. And secondly, we contacted Krumbi sir from South Africa. Actually, his area of interest really, you won't believe, he is also giving a lot of inputs for the writers in terms of innovation as well as novelty in creating pieces which are for the society, representing the societal issues. So we have chosen these two members, and we are really happy that they have consented for acting as the resource persons. Thank you so much, Bama ma'am, for being with us today. And then we came across, we wanted to have some persons who are really good in ELT structures. So in that aspect, we contacted Zafar ma'am. Really, you won't believe, when you communicate with a person, even within 5 to 10 minutes, whether we can get that much of input. It's really amazing, because yesterday we were having some conversations for around half an hour, I believe, just for half an hour. But the what is it, the ideas which she gave for writing papers, and then for using ICT in the research papers, extraordinary. Within 5 minutes, how a person can enlighten another person. That's what the beauty of the research. You won't believe that much of research profile she backs. And I would like to thank you, ma'am, for coming all the way from Punjab and staying over here for us. It's amazing. Thank you so much for your presence, ma'am. And in addition, I would like to introduce our another resource person, Zawad Ahmed sir. Actually, what I thought was he is from the literature field, but after I went through his profile, I was astonished to see his profile with that much of what is an NLP, brain working methodology, and how it is brought into education. Yesterday, he taught me three things which I had to focus on. One is engagement, and another one, I believe, if I'm correct, motivation, and the third factor is togetherness, right? So how these three are clubbed together for developing, and how a person could be retained with his listening aspects whenever you are delivering a lecture, all these which we have never peeped into. Even many research, that is many journals are expecting us to work on the cognitive or the psychological aspects. And if we listen to him, if we can get a lot of inputs from him, definitely the paper which we can develop will be really worthy for the societal development. It's because many of you are the teachers, many of us are going to many of us are teachers, many of you are research scholars. Definitely his inputs, that's going to create a lot of what to say critic in you, and furthermore you will definitely become a researcher in the long run in a very beautiful way. So thank you so much for accepting our request, sir. And then I would like to welcome our another resource person, Ludrus Vijayan sir, because though he is known to us pretty well, his his principles and his research portfolios in ELT and ICT enabled classroom activities, uh, you won't believe he is such a person with a lot of research background. He is acting as reviewer as well as editor in many journals. It's not that easy to act as editor or what to say reviewer in some of the leading frontier journals. So I really thank him for his presence, because all these members are coming all the way from various places across India, one from Odisha, one from Punjab, one from Chennai. All these members have come over here just for enlightening us. So thank you so much, Vijay sir, for being with us this session. And then one more person who is not here, but still she is going to join us, that is Annie Devarati ma'am from Savita College. She is also a big trainer, IELTS trainer. Her profile is entirely like how these all foreign courses could enhance the people of India as well as the people in the developing countries. So we have chosen her for that. In that aspect. And one more person I would like to welcome as Ansari sir. He is a professor in University of Zazan, Saudi Arabia. We have already had a lot of times his address for our international FTP. The reason behind why we are calling him again and again is his research background, the way he communicates, the way he expresses his innovative research. Every time he gives new genre of doing the research. So that's why we have invited him also. And we are really thankful to all these 7 resource persons who have really consented to act as resource persons for this international conference. One more person who has really consented to act as the valedictory chief guest is Dr. Joachim from St. Saviour's College. Really, Joachim sir is very close to our heart. Because he always guides us in many ways, in one way or the other, through either through Rajkumaran or to somebody else over here. And so we are having a very close affinity with each other. So thank you so much, Joachim sir, for accepting. Though they are not present today, they are going to come tomorrow. So we are really happy that these all members have expressed their willingness to be a part of this conference. The journey of the conference, I would like to tell you all. Starting from the day one, you all know pretty well how difficult it is to organize an international conference. Very, very difficult. But still, it's all because of my entire team. I won't call them as my colleagues or my members, they are my team. Though we didn't have the filial bond, but we are like a family. This is the Department of English family. Whenever everyone in MEPCO used to say, your department is entirely different, because it's a family like. And you won't believe, this is not my work, that is not my work. They won't be doing like that. Everyone used to take everything as theirs, and they started to do without taking anything as this is of higher priority, this is of least priority, so this is a work I have to do. So that much of my team, I would like to thank my team first. Then I would like to thank the Almighty, because every day I used to say my team, yes, we need to get the blessings of Almighty. At first, very poor response was there. We were thinking whether we have to continue or not. But later, we received a overwhelming response. So, overwhelming response, really happy about it. And it's all because of my team's day and night work. They made it, they brought it to the limelight of everyone. So, thank you so much, team. And then I would like to thank the management. Once we say that it's a conference, they stated that yes, you are starting a conference, we are with you. So I don't think everyone would be stating, because it's not a sponsored one, it's a organized one by the college of MEPCO, by the MEPCO college, sorry. So uh, college was initiating a lot of things, and they asked us to proceed ahead with our venture. And I would like to thank our principal, the backbone and the person behind this. Because when I conducted this international conference in 2018, after everything was over, the first question he asked was, when are you going to go for the second one? Second conference. So to that extent, he would be motivating. He would be setting the target. He will ask us to go through that. And very many things. He was very particular that you must not collect much money from the participants. You must not disturb them in the money oriented views. Don't do anything like that. Let them pay what they can. So we set the minimum margin of 1,000 based on his views, and based on my team, Saran sir as well as Rajkumaran's views. So it's all this pay for one paper only 1,000 rupee. That was insisted from the principal's desk, and it was compelled, and then we managed somehow with that all aspect, because it's not the motive of making money out of this conference, it's the motive of enriching the participants. So that was done predominantly. And then another one thing which my team entirely focused on was going ahead with the journals, for which many of the researchers are working on. So going ahead with the journals, in the sense, very very difficult, right? We need to find journals for Web of Science, we need to find journals for UGC care, that is UGC care indexed, and then Scopus indexed, which predominantly many of you are asking for. So we identified some journals, we contacted them, but many of them didn't turn up. But one or two journals, they gave a positive response. We were afraid how much they would be asking for. But they stated in one of the UGC journal, which is ISG UGC journal, they stated that they do not expect money, even a single penny they do not expect. So that is the first thing we expected, and they fell in line with us. And another Web of Science journal, which accepted our proposal immediately, with on the grounds that the paper must have the quality. So that is e-mentor journal, and they have consented, and they have even published that they are collaborating with us in their website. So I would like to thank these two journals who have come without any expectation, with the only aspect of developing the researchers. And one more journal is Wisdom Speaks. That journal also has given their consent to publish our papers in their journals. And two more Scopus journals, they have accepted our proposal. But nowadays, the problem is many of the journals are opting for money. So we are identifying few more journals in Scopus which can publish without money, as we are doing here. So the objective behind having a conference is to enlighten the prospective researchers. So with this, I would like to say that MEPCO College is conducting this international conference with these all elite speakers from across the world, only for the sake of the prospect of the research, as well as for an effective publication, and furthermore to prohibit the people from publishing in predatory journals. I would like to register one more point here. Recently, I came across one journal, Novirmir. That's a Russian journal, right? That journal is publishing just 10 papers across the year. There is another journal, Novermir, in India, which says that UGC Care Indexed. Whenever you are publishing the paper, whenever you are sending the paper to that .gmail ID, your paper will be published within 10 days. No problem. You have to pay just 20,000. No problem. Immediate publication. But that's a predatory journal. And can you believe that particular journal has published per year around, it's not that particular journal, I am telling about some other journals, which has published for 20,000, one paper for 20,000, and that journal has published around, I believe, 600 papers in a year. For 20,000 per paper, 600 papers per year. So, after identifying these all predatory journals, we were set aback. Okay, we should not let our members publish in any of the journals which are asking for money. So, with that dignified purpose, we walked and we have succeeded to some extent. And I believe that all of your papers will be published in some of the promising and really an authentic journal, so that your research profile will be increasing. That's why we are insisting the scholars to write papers up to this expectation and the standard of the journals, so that it will be easy for us to process your papers. So with that, I would like to wind up my speech stating I would like to thank all the participants for your coming, and I would like to welcome one and all once again for your guest presence. Thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for your cordial welcome, ma'am. Before we keep the ball rolling, I would like to invite Dr. S. Rajkumaran, Assistant Professor, Department of English, and one of the spearheads of this conference, to introduce the guest speaker, writer Ms.Bama. Please, sir.
Very good morning, one and all present here, the international conference organized by Department of English of Mapcoastal Engineering College. I take immense pleasure in introducing the keynote speaker of the conference, Ms.Bama ma'am, who needs no introduction actually. She is well known as the author of Karukku novel. Bama is one of the renowned Tamil writers. Apart from being a novelist, she is a renowned short story writer, social activist, and essayist. Born in small village of Virudhunagar of South India in 1958, Bama ma'am became famous as a literary personality with her works such as Karukku, published in 1992, Sangadi, 1994, Vanmam, 2002. She wrote some collection of short stories, Kusumbukaran, published in 1996, and Oru Tattuvam, Erumayum, 2003. She wrote more than 20 short stories. As Bama was born in Roman Catholic family, her childhood name was Faustina Mary Fatima Rani. Later in her life, she adopted the pen name Bama. Her father, Susairaj, served in Indian Army, and her mother, Sabastima, was a housewife. Her brother was a renowned theoretician and literary critic. Bauma's reading and reinterpretation of Christian scriptures as an adult enables her to carve out both a social vision and message of hope for Dalits by emphasizing the revolutionary aspects of Christianity, the values of equality, social justice, and love towards all. Her own life experience urged her towards actively engaging in alleviating the sufferings of oppressed. When she becomes a nun, it is in the stubborn of hope that she will have chance to put this aspiration into effect. She discovers, however, that the perspectives of this convent and the churches are not different from her, and the story that conflicts and its resolution from the core of Karukku. The renowned literary critic Pramod K. Nair writes, Karukku is a powerful critique of Indian civil society itself, the educational system, the church, and the bureaucracy, and highlights the complicity between class and caste in post-independence India. Literature is not only the means of expression of an author's personal accounts of real experience, including the discrimination based on caste and stigma on the basis of their gender and sexual orientation. It is also means of liberation that provides a platform where the subdued voice could be given a strength and loud resonance. We are so happy to have you as a keynote speaker of the conference, ma'am, and looking forward to be enlightened by you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. And it's time for us to honor our chief guest. I invite our head of the department, Dr. C. Ganga Lakshmi, to honor Ms. Bama. Please, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Before 20 years, only a few reputed institutions in Tamil Nadu, like Loyola Chennai, the American College Madurai, make it a prime objective to invite living writers to their premises every year. So, and some arts and science colleges and universities, they try to follow the footstep at present. And MEPCO also has taken some initiative and has fallen in line with that. It is a good sign that technical institutions too prioritizes literature and literates along with ELT specialists. On behalf of every one of us gathered here, I invite writer Ms.Bama to address the galaxy of scholars. Please, ma'am.
Leave it here then. மூடி எங்க நான் இங்க வச்சுட்டு Good morning to all of you. It's a privilege and pleasure for me to be here this morning to share my views and ideas about Dalit, not Dalit particularly, but subaltern literature. They have given several titles in the invitations. I have chosen this title, Subaltern Literature, because my main theme and my writing is from the subaltern people. It is about subaltern people. And three core points I highlight in my writings are class, caste, and gender. These three factors have great impact on Indian people, both men and women. And these three factors decide the social status of any citizen of India, and specifically in our state, Tamil Nadu. So I have chosen this title. So before talking about subaltern literature itself, I would like to say something about what is literature itself. Now, literature, it is, we know, it is like any all vital, profound, and deep realities of life, defy definitions, and we can never come up with a satisfactory, comprehensive definition of literature. So instead of a definition, let me tell you a story attributed to an American writer, William J. Long, that conveys the beauty, charm, and allurement that literature exercises over us. It goes like this. A child and a man were one day walking on the seashore, and the child found a little seashell and held to his ears. Suddenly, he heard sounds, strange, low, melodious sounds, as if the shell were remembering and repeating to itself the murmurs of its ocean home. The child's face filled with wonder as he listened with delight to its mystery and music. Then came a man who explained that the child heard nothing strange, and that the lovely curves of the shell simply caught a multitude of sounds, sounds which were too faint for human ears. What the child heard was the murmur of the innumerable echoes of these sounds. This is exactly what literature does to us. It unveils before us a new world. It opens our ears to listen to new sounds and voices that we had not heard before. And it sows new longings in our hearts. When this new world, voices, and longings are the embodiments of values and meanings that enrich, ennoble, and humanize us, we call it a great literature that stands the test of time. So, with this introduction to literature itself, I would like to say a few words about subaltern people. Subaltern, what is subalternity? Or who is a subaltern? The word subaltern sounds as an unfamiliar technical term to most of us. What does it mean? According to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, it refers to an officer in the British Army who is lower in rank than a captain. So the word means inferior in rank, secondary importance. Moreover, sub means below or less, and alton also has a Latin origin from a word meaning other. Hence, subaltern is the other, who is below the par and less than normal. Subaltern then is any person or group of persons considered inferior. It stands for any group of persons who are marginalized, oppressed, and exploited on cultural, social, political, and religious grounds. In India, Dalits, women, tribals, transgenders, and minorities belong to this category of subaltern. They are marginalized, oppressed, and exploited because they are considered and treated as less than human or subhuman. There is a brutal force behind this marginalization, exploitation, and oppression, which is supported by the dominant ideology of the ruling class. Here, we must make it clear that the person or groups who are considered inferior are not inferior, are less human per se, but are inferiorized. I want to repeat this. The person or groups who are considered inferior are not inferior or less human per se, but are inferiorized. I remember a modern Tamil poem. Maybe I will say it in Tamil and also in English. The title of the poem is Padivam, Padivam, or Vinnapam, something like that. What we fill it when we join in a college or employment, that we call it, in Tamil we call it Padivam. It goes like that. First of, I mean, in any application or Vinnapam, first name, pair, then pettor name, parents' name, age, date of birth, religion, nationality, then come caste. If scheduled caste, or in Tamil it goes better, I will say, pair, பெற்றோர் பெயர், பிறந்த தேதி, மதம், தென் லாஸ்ட் டே, அடுத்தது வந்து ஜாதி, காஸ்ட். தாழ்த்தப்பட்டவரா, ஆர் யூ, அதாவது தாழ்த்தப்பட்டவரான்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நிறைய பிரிவுகள் கொடுப்பாங்க. அந்த தாழ்த்தப்பட்டவராக்கு அடுத்து அந்த கவிதை இப்படி சொல்லுது: தாழ்த்தப்பட்டவரா, ஆம் எனில் ஏன், யாரால், எப்பொழுது, எப்படி. This is the poem. Very short, but very sharp. So this kind of literature, this is one example for poetry, I would say. if you are inferiorized, by whom, why, when, for what reason? This is the poem, but it speaks a lot. So this type of literature we term as subaltern literature. So there are a lot of modern poetry like this, and there are short stories, novels. It's in any language you can find this. These people are deemed, judged, and condemned to be inferior by the ruling brutal force and its ideology. Since they are considered inferior, they are robbed of their subjectivity, selfhood, and agency. They are made objects, victims who are condemned to a life of inequality, unfreedom, servility, and segregation. I see the perfect image of the subaltern in Leo Tolstoy's story of the serf who is condemned to carry his master on his shoulders. The serf is made to carry his master on his shoulder all the time. The serf is made to lose his humanity and become a beast on whom the master rides. Now, the question is, with what consciousness does the serf carry his master? He may do it with the false and servile consciousness that he is fated to be like that, or even privileged to become a beast of burden for his master, or he may rebel, develop a critical consciousness, and think of ways of throwing off, ridding this inhuman burden. This is very typical of a subaltern perspective story or a parable, whatever you call. The moment he rebels, the moment he realizes that the one sitting on his shoulders has no right to do so, he recovers his humanity, subjectivity, and selfhood, a new consciousness of a free human being. He is no more silent. Subaltern people speak, and subaltern literature reveals their voices. Now, coming to subaltern literature, when we talk about subaltern literature, naturally literary people or whoever it is, two important names uh, come to our mind, very famous in subaltern studies. One is Ranjit Guha, who is the originator of subaltern historical studies. The other one, Gayatri Spivak, who looked at feminism from a subaltern perspective. So these two are very important people when you talk about subaltern literature or subaltern studies. After the independence of our country, three dominant trends have emerged in the Tamil literary world. They are the popular literature, and the other one is the artistic or elitistic literature. And the third one is the people's literature or the liberation literature. The third kind of literature, the modern Tamil literature, which is the people's literature and liberation literature, slowly emerged through various leftist political and cultural movements in Tamil Nadu. Subaltern literature has a definite literary purpose, a definite liberative purpose. Here, literary activity is a part and parcel of the struggle of liberation. The black literature, the feminist literature, the communist socialist literature, are a few kinds of the subaltern literature or liberation literature. Each type of literature, I mean the liberative literature, has its own version of liberative ideas or version of liberation. The form, the content, and the genre of each kind vary in accordance with the specific form of oppression and struggle. But they have certain common features. I can list up a few. They reject the dominant mode of literary discourse. They don't accept what is existing already as their mode of literature. They develop their own tools of analysis. The third one, they protest against the oppressor without any compromise. They try to build a new relationship of either sisterhood or comradeship, of community identity. They castigate their oppressors vehemently. They share their subalternity without inhibition and shame. They try to build an cultural alternate culture through protest and revolt, through inversions, through dismantling the existing hierarchy by mocking and ridiculing. Their voice is highly impressive and expressive. They serve as an ideological weapon for the subalterns in their struggle against the oppressors. In short, subaltern literature has a dual role to play. First one, it has to undo the dominant culture. And the second one, it has to build an alternate culture through protest and revolt. For those who are subjugated for long periods in history, the servitude psychology must be eradicated only through revolt. In this sense, subaltern culture should proclaim itself a revolt culture. And what is prescribed for them by their oppressors should be clearly transgressed. There is no transformation without transgressions. They should bring about a chaos to the hierarchical relationship between the dominant and the dominated, which are encoded through verbal, non-verbal, special, and gestural cultural symbols. The dominant culture will always try to enforce their existing cultural codes in the name of maintaining the order of the society. Now, from my own writings, I can give an example which has all these features of a subaltern literature. I have written more than 60 short stories actually, and among them there is one story titled Annachi. Annachi means elder brother. I am not going to say the whole story, but the later part, I just read the story, the end of the story, then I will mm, tell you how all these features, what is really the characteristics or the essence of a subaltern story. Hardly a week had gone by when there was a flurry of talk once more in the village about another misdeed of Amasis. Amasis is the character of the story. But he went about his business as usual, as if nothing had happened. So I called out to him one day and asked, Epa, now what have you done? He immediately turned to me and said, Machan, tonight there is a Panchayat gathering. They are going to put on trial and then hang a great murderer. Never mind the Panchayat, tell me what you did. It's me they are going to try. Make sure you are there, said Amasi. What is the complaint against you this time? Tell me. I was almost bleeding. Machan, what happened was that Chinnaya Muthukarpan, he came and asked me to go and divert water to that Jayashankar landlord's field. Yes, I saw you all dressed in white carrying a spade. The way you were dressed, I thought you were going to have the spade repaired, I told him. Macha, no need to make fun of me. Why? Can't I go to work wearing white? And I was wearing the shirt that was ironed by that Muthurulan. I paid him 1 rupee for that. Yes, yes, the shirt wasn't wrinkled at all. Now, get back to the topic. When I got to Jayashankar's fields, he was standing near the pump set. I went towards him with a spade and he started talking. Amasi suddenly changed his voice, mimicking the way Jayashankar spoke. Eli, I told Muthukarpan from your street to find me a man to divert water to the field. No one has shown up and it's getting late. Muthukarpan Chinnaya asked me to come. That's why I'm here. Do you look like someone who has come to work? You look like you are going to an office. Dolt. Couldn't that idiot find someone else? Did he have to send you? What is it to you? You only want to divert water, don't you? What do you care about how I am dressed? LA, do you know what the time is now? Look at this fellow showing up now, like a big shot going somewhere far away. Annachi, only you have a wristwatch, Annachi. I don't have. Only you can tell me the time, Annachi. I will try buy a watch soon, Annachi. After that, I'll be able to tell the time, Annachi. I burst out laughing, seeing the look on his face. But Amasi said, wait, Machan, keep listening. You should have seen his face when I called him Annachi. It was black with rage. Annachi means elder brother. What did you say? Annachi. You keep saying Annachi. Who is Annachida? To whom am I Annachi? A pariah dares to call me Annachi. Don't say whatever comes to your mouth, because then I will also start talking. It's only your reputation will get soiled. If you don't want me, tell me to leave. That's all. And I turned and left, but not before I called him Swain. I don't know what he came and reported in the village, but now these people have called a panchayat. Well, you are sure to get punished today. You called the landlord a swine. You are something else, Machan. You thought they are going to try me for that. No, no, it's my calling him Annachi that has become a big crime. The panchayat is assembling for that. As Amasi had said, the panchayat assembled at night. The Natame, the headman, asked, L.A. Amasi, what is our caste and what is the landlord's caste? Who can address whom as Annachi? Are you not guilty of being unreasonable? Amasi replied, we are pariahs. They are Nayakars. It was I who called him Annachi. Are you having a meeting for this? And he scratched his head looking confused. All the youngsters laughed loudly at this. The headman controlled his anger and said, Seri, why should I waste time asking you all this? I need a straight reply. Why did you call the landlord your Annachi? Amasi's reply was instant. Well, he is elder to me. That's why I called him my elder brother. If he was younger, I would have called him Tambi, my little brother. At this, the young boys laughed even more uproariously. This fellow is completely wild. Just listen to him, obstinate fool. The second atom, I said. The headman began again, his tone grave. Eli, we are not assembled here to laugh at your jokes. Till today, among pariahs, has anyone ever addressed Nayakars as blood relatives? Born yesterday, and you come up with some damn fool argument. Wasn't it wrong to address him as Annachi? Amasitu responded gravely. There is nothing wrong with what I said. Did I call him Mama or Machan, trying to create a relationship by asking for the hand of his daughter or sister? I only call him Annachi, politely, respectfully, and you raise hell about it. What did you people do when I addressed Irlapan, the scavenger, as Annachi last week? You reproached me for addressing him as Annachi. Now you ask me why I called a Nayakar Annachi. It's just what the old woman Puvadi says. What a donkey shits. Is there any difference between what it shits first and what it shits last? Shit is shit. All men are just men. So saying, Amasi walked away. So in this story, you can see all the features of this subaltern literature. Here, the consciousness of the newly coming up younger generation and how they are unmasking the older ideology of oppression or caste discrimination and subalternity, and how they are recreating a new relationship with this uh, in this kind of social setup. See, he did not even unmask the thing, but also he created a new relation, calling him as Annachi, a, a brotherly relation with affection. He respected him as a human person, and in turn, he expected him to treat him as a human person. This is what subaltern literature speaks, and this is what subaltern literature does. Everybody is equal. Nobody is superior and nobody is inferior. So, this kind of literature really is essential at this time of our society to abolish the old order of oppressing people based on caste, class, gender, religion, language, color, and rich and poor, and man, even man and woman. So everything. So this ups and downs should be abolished, and there should be equality. All men are equal. So that's what the essential core of the subaltern literature. And the same thing, in my first book, Karuku, in the older generation, there is a one incident, an old man carrying a parcel containing vadais. He has bought that parcel from a restaurant to the landlord. And he was not supposed to touch that parcel, though it was wrapped up with banana leaf and over that newspaper, and it was tied with a rope. So he was allowed to touch only the rope to carry like this because of untouchability. So old man, and I personally witnessed it, I was carrying like this. For me as a younger girl, younger child, it was a kind of ridiculous act, I thought. Such just a old man carrying a parcel like that. We laughed at it. I didn't know the real impact of that thing. But when I came and shared that with my brother at home, he was serious. He didn't laugh. He told me it is not a laughable matter. That old man he's from this caste and the landlord is different. And if he touches that, it gets polluted. It is untouchability. That's what called the untouchability. Though the landlord was a small boy, he has to behave, and the way he bowed himself and gave that parcel. So all this, then it was a kind of enlightenment for me. Then I realized how badly and inhumanly people are treated. That time I was very angry and I wanted to touch that vada itself. Why should that we are denied to touch that and treat like that? So that anger, that's what I said, resist and revolting. Then the next act, I want to touch that. Yes, why shouldn't I touch? I am ordered to buy. I go to the shop and buy and come, but I am not supposed to touch even the newspaper that is wrapped in that body. Am I such polluted person? So that kind of new consciousness and awareness, then revolting, resisting, then coming to the action of liberating myself, liberating this ideology. So this is the process of literature, and that's what literature should do. And literature should raise the voices of these subaltern people, raises their dreams and longing to be liberated from this idiotic, casteist, and foolish societal system here. Now, when I read this, I have seen many of you are showing different kinds of facial expressions, maybe because of the vocabulary that I used, and the way I have structured the story. I deliberately chose this chose this story, and I read because language is of paramount importance in subaltern literature. In modern society, even in literary world itself, in Tamil Nadu, in Tamil literary world itself, when I wrote Karukku, there was a big shouting and criticism here and there, talking about this language. How can a writer use this language in her writings? Uh, she is an educated lady, but she is using this kind of language. It's not fair. This is not or like that. So many people were shouting at that. But but I didn't write it consciously. Just like that, it happened when I wrote my first book. The atmosphere and the situation of my life where I was in was like that, and I wrote. But when I heard this criticism from other people, the mainstream writers, then I realized they have a certain framework. They call this is the classic literary work, and they have a definite language style, classic Tamil language, and this is the form. This is how everybody should write that. And if somebody crosses that border, then they couldn't accept it. But at the same time, there are other languages and dialect from other caste people fully used in movies and novels and dramas and any journals or any magazines everywhere. And normally they speak in that dialect or accent, and it is considered as superior and high and classical, and this and that they praise it. And listening to that language and the accent of the language and the dialect of the language, they are considered as superior human beings. And the other people, when people's language, working class people, laboring class people, subaltern people, oppressed people, marginalized people, when they speak this kind of language, and they are, and that language, as they marginalize the people, they are marginalizing the language also, and they treat people as polluted people and also consider language as a polluted language. So that's why that shouts and noisy criticisms. Then I realized, oh, if it is so, my language is precious for me, and my people's language, my dialect is good for me, it is decent for me, and it is a respectful language. So I use this language, I speak this language. Now it is accepted. After that, many writers use this, and in movies and dramas and all literary medias and everywhere they use they accept this language. And I would like to say, not because I belong to that category, but the language has its own versatile, what to say, beauty and vocabulary and the storytelling, and it is more warm and human touch, and you can easily express your emotions in your own language, in your own dialect. And what is wrong in that? So now more and more people began to realize the um, different beauty and nature of Tamil language. See that the folklore, for example, you see, the folklore stories or the folklore songs or the folklore dramas, the performances and everything, it has its own richness. Otherwise, if you talk only this classical language, one particular, then there is no growth in it. and there is no um, a warmth in it, and there is no what to say, that you don't feel one with what you are feeling. Like the emotions and the feeling of a human person can be fruitfully and rich, in the rich way of expressing it, it helps you. So when a child is born, it talk only at the big primary level. It talks only in the language of its family, street, village, and then moves. When it moves to other places, then it picks up different languages and different style of speaking. All those things. So there is nothing wrong in using this, and if you say this is indecent, that is decent, this is pollution, this is that, and this, then there is no real human total personality growth. You can't get there. We are all machines, like just one. Yeah, a computer, if you feed a computer, it will talk only one type of language, like that way all human persons should follow one language, and that is a superiority of particular caste group, and they dictate one language. Even now you can see in today's life, it's also one nation, one language, one food, one culture, one, everything is one. So we are all we are forced to follow one, fit into one framework like a machine, which really destroys our whole inner strength and our growth. So subaltern literature is very good to relish and enrich and renew our human personalities and human feelings and human and the whole humanity, I would say. And the culture also is very, very, subaltern culture is very active, very alive, and it makes you love life amidst their struggles, amidst their poverty, atrocities, violence. Though they face all those things, but still they love life and they enjoy life. You can see this spirit of living life fully among laboring people. While they are doing hard work, they sing and dance and enjoy, and they perform their hard work. That is their spirit, that is their culture. But what we say is it is indecent. Why they are shouting like that? But I mean, if we talk about culture, it will take another I mean, lot of time. I'm not talking about the culture, but the subaltern literature talks about subaltern culture also. The language should really give a violent disturbance to the seemingly natural posture and superficial orderliness of the status quo. That's what I'm trying to say. This will go against the standard language, pure, classical, divine, and cultural academic languages. The so called decency is the most suffocating term for the subalterns, and it does stifle their voice. Subaltern people have a different vocabulary and speech. I think rebellion against and resistance to the existing oppressive order is the only way of protecting and cherishing the humanity of the oppressed as well as of the oppressors. By resisting and rebelling, I stand on the existing unjust society on its head. My rebellion is always considered unnatural and unreasonable, and it shocks the master no end, and he often retaliates against my rebellion with crude physical violence. There are so many examples nowadays. When you open the newspapers, you can see all these things. My personal act of rebellion begins to make political ripples in the indoctrinated consciousness of the oppressed and in the objective oppressive order. Thus, it is personal act of rebellion that politics begin for the subalterns. These personal responses to individual and structural violence show that people are not always passive, unreflective, uncritical, nor meekly reconciled to their fate. I have chronicled their acts of resistance in my stories. These personal and individual acts of resistance may not bring about structural changes, but they do indicate the stirrings of a spirit wanting to assert one's rights and dignity. True liberation then means the unmaking of the old order and creating a new order in which everyone matters and no one is an expendable commodity. With this, I can conclude my talk, I think. So, subaltern literature chronicles and celebrates the passage from victimhood to militancy, from negation of selfhood, subjectivity, and agency to the affirmation of selfhood, subjectivity, and of cultural and political autonomy. Needless to say that this passage from false consciousness to critical consciousness that opens up from this possibility of a life of equality, liberty, and fraternity is fraught with conflicts and contradictions and is the result of continuous struggles with their ups and downs. Subaltern literature then does not repeat history blindly, but it struggles to create a new history where we can hold our heads high and walk hand in hand with freedom. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your keynote address has summed up the plight of subalterns and how they are subjugated by the so-called superior ideologies. Your unassuming delivery was brimming with your humanitarian concern towards the marginalized. Thank you so much once again, ma'am. Thank you. And I hope that your assertive tone will bring in at least a few changes in the society in future. Now the session is open to question from the audience end. If you have any queries, we can have discussion. It may not be a question, you can discuss with the writer.
Hello, madam. There is a question, ma'am. You have talked about caste and other things. That's very nice. Ma'am, how do you think caste can be eliminated from the society? Is it possible to achieve that? What do you think we have to do as a society to eliminate caste and the differences among the people?
Caste is there for more than 2000 years here, and now, especially these days, it is renewed actually, and we are going back to the Varnashrama period. And as Ambedkar told us, I have pulled this chariot with much difficulty to annihilate caste. Now I request you, if at all you are not able to pull it further, don't push it back. That's what he said. But now the people are trying to push it back. So actually, I don't have any solution to annihilate caste. I mean, Ambedkar, the great soul, he struggled a lot and he has written a lot about it. One thing what I would say is you disown your caste individually. You criticize your own caste. Each one has to do their what to say inward experiment. How am I dealing? I mean, what is my attitude towards my caste, and how do I treat myself, and how I treat another person who is inferiorized? So that way, each one, if you can do that mental exercise, that is, I mean, it is not something a kind of rule like from tomorrow onwards there will be no caste. Nobody can do that. Actually, 1950s itself, a law is passed and untouchability is abolished. And in educational institutions, in the textbooks, you can see in the front page, untouchability is a crime, untouchability is not human, and this and that. I mean, it is Indian constitutional thing. The three is printed there. Everybody, we look at it and just we pass that. Nobody noticed that because it is corroded in our blood shell itself. Everybody, and each one of us has our own caste, and we are clinging on to that. We clinging on to that because caste is very convenient for us. If you belong, if you are supposed to be the upper caste, it is very easy and convenient for you to rule over another person. So you don't want to leave the caste. That's what's happening now. People are demanding for equality. How can it be? We should be superior. We should rule them. They should be inferior. Now the inferiorized people are trying to come up and they're talking about freedom, liberty, and fraternity, all those things. Very dangerous it is. Push them down. This is what happening. And one, see, in Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க ஜான் ஏர்னா மொளை வழுக்குதுமாங்க. அப்படித்தான். The more we shout against untouchability and caste, the more we are pushing down. We are pushed down. So it is up to us, each one of us, be aware of what is happening now at present. It is openly spoken now. Yeah, a cow is more important than a person, and we are somebody else is deciding our way of dressing, our food, our language, everything. They decide for us, and in the name of God and religion, people are segregated. And caste is, religion one side and caste another side. They say we are all okay, we belong to one caste, we belong to one religion. But even among the religions, some people are kept untouchables. One religion, same religion, we both belong to same religion, but I am untouchable, you are touchable. How is it? What kind of God is that? So many factors are there. That's what I'm trying to say. So we got to be conscious about it. And if you really want to, first of all, examine yourself, do we really want to annihilate caste? If so, we have to check our own selves, and we individually take a promise or an oath to, I won't practice caste. I don't believe in caste. That is the only way, I think. You can't really just like that over a night, you can abolish caste. Because I am saying, no, one side you are working against caste, the other side is 10 times, 100 times working for caste. That is the condition, real condition now. Yeah.
I'm Ramesh Kumar from Gandhigram Rural Institute. I have a question. Many questions. I would like to ask my question one by one. First of all, do you think, now you said in your lecture that the language matters. Language is, what is that, a counteract. Language acts counter. Do you think Dalit or subaltern language can change the perceptions of the language alone can change the perception? And perception means these people, and you said language acts as a counter culture, yes, can change it. Because, for example, you said these people speak even சோறு தின்னையான்னு சொல்லி கேட்குறான். ஆக்சுவலாக சோறு தின்னையான்னு சொல்லி கேட்குறான். அந்த சோறு இட்செல்ஃப், சோறு இஸ் பியூர்லி தமிழ். தின்னையா அப்படிங்கிறது பியூர்லி தமிழ். பட் when a person from the marginalized subaltern community speaks pure language, it is considered inferior or uncultural, uncivilized. By bringing change in the language, or by what is that uh, uh, அது அப்படியே ஐ டோன்ட் கெட் த வேர்ட் டு எக்ஸ்பிரஸ். அந்த வார்த்தை அப்படியே யூஸ் பண்றதுனால இல்ல அதை மாத்துறதுனால சொசைட்டி மாறிடுமா?
மாறாது, மாறாது. What I want to say is, see, I am a Dalit. I am a polluted person. I am an impure person. I mean, historically, I am branded like that. And so my language, my food, my clothing, my way of dressing, everything is branded like that. When you, I'm not saying my of my own, but in the history it is written like that. This language, as you say, you speak pure language. Now, choru is rice, and the decent word for choru is sadam. Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah, and that sadam is not Tamil word. So this is not the only thing. Many. I mean, that's what I didn't talk about culture, but there are many cultural issues that are created and that are recognized and religiously accepted as pure and impure, decent and all kinds of things. See, when you change choru into sadam, you become people began to think, oh, you are coming from that group, okay? And if you say choru, then they will term you as somebody from lower class. This is one thing from language. Even from your, yeah, you cannot eat beef. If you eat beef, you belong to that group. If you don't eat, if you eat parpu and ne, you belong to the other group. So this is that. In your food, it is discriminated. Your food is discriminated. Your dress is, your language, your even skin. We think that white skin is better, beautiful. Dark skin means ugly. So everywhere, I mean, you will be surprised. You know, each and every aspect of your life is cut and examined, and everything is decided. Everything is decided. You have no say in that. And since all these factors are considered as impure, you are also an impure person, lower person. You don't belong. You belong to subaltern group, not this group. So what I'm trying to say is, language is countering means there is no need for you to change your original culture because of this. See, for example, change the color. This cream, that cream, this lovely cream, and the cream, in the cream. You see all kinds of advertisement to change your color. And when you change the color, then you get social status. That's what people believe. Ridiculous, no? Just you, I can say, just see the advertisement in the TV or TV or movie anywhere or media anywhere. Within 10 minutes you get 10 soap as best soap. 10 soaps, they say, which one you will select? We don't go to think. These are all corporate people advertising for their own benefit and profit, and they come up in life. They are like octopus. They are shouting everything. They are taking away from us, but we don't think about that. We aim at certain one particular thing is superior. We say it is given recognition by religion. That's what I'm saying. Religion accepts that. That's why people are not able to drop it. In the name of God, everything is done. So we believe it, and if you don't believe, God will punish you. So how very what to say, instinctively, very minutely they build up things. Where they touch, you will be put off. Very cunningly they have made up everything.
சாமி கண்ணை குத்துன்ற மாதிரி.
So what we have to do is be aware of things. Root on your own culture, root on your own language. Be yourself. Why do you want to change for somebody else's recognition? I want to change the color. I want to change my language. I want to change the way of dressing. I want to change accent of my language. Why? Be yourself. Then you will experience a lot of freedom, liberation, strength to resist and revolt. When you are true to yourself, you are a strong man. That's what we need to be. When we are acting, anybody can push us down. That is the thing. Not only in language, in anything, everything.
And one more thing, ma'am. Uh, see, Sankati, in Sankati, I suppose, these caste Hindu people practice the dowry system. Actually, they showcase their economical status and social status by giving a daughter a more dowry. Okay, so you have said, you have written in the Sangadi that no, these people, these subaltern people are also started following their practice. Okay, because there is a system which forces these people also in order to cope with the society, in order to be considered as you said, in order to be considered as a fellow human being, right? This, they have established their thing. I mean, the caste Hindu people have established and they have made people believing what is done by them is true. Okay, but why can't these people establish their status, even though they are right, they are innocent, their ways are righteous? Why can't they still suffer in the name of this thing? Why can't they establish themselves on a par with those so and so people? So and so means that.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, in my second novel, Sangadi, I have mentioned that. As you say, that is the longing that you have expressed. Yeah, we need to be like that. But what is happening also is the basic problem is, what I think is, we are not ourselves. We are not ourselves. We are not true to ourselves. We that is that I don't blame for that. I don't blame us for that. The problem is in our country, where there are a lot of differences based on caste, as I had mentioned. Certain group of people are considered high, superior, and whatever they eat, whatever they have, whatever they believe, whatever their customary practices, whatever it is superior. It's considered as superior, and we believe that. See, even today, even among subaltern people, they bring this. I am talking about only the practices. Don't misunderstand me. They are bringing some ayar and all to when they build house, they do something, some sadang, some rituals they do. No, they are bringing that man. Not only for that, for anything, for everything, they are still actually. In olden days, they believe that he is a superior man, and he is representing God for us in something like that. When he speaks different language, and they believe that God is speaking through him. All these things are those days. Even today, whether illiterate or literate, whether rich or poor, they are bringing the same man, and he is collecting all things whatever they provide, and he goes and gets money. This is one of the professions for him. But for these people, they look at him as godly person. Okay, so the same thing. This what we think they are somebody great. We think that language, something he is blabbering, is great. We think that food is great. When he blesses, then we flourish. There is a lot of prosperity, and there will be. I mean, this kind of belief system is inbuilt in us. Same way, dowry system, whatever. And another important factor is this all dramas and things that are shown in the TV. They're telecasting so many things, no? all rubbish. Even movies, exceptional as exceptions are there. They spoil women folk, uh, fighting for one man, two or more girls fighting for one man. And even after knowing he is a married man, following on, I want to marry, something like that. No, I mean, I have not seen it, but people when they talk to me, they when they say, see, lot of mishandling characters and morality and misguiding people in the same way. And in the dramas and movies, and even in ordinary life, when they are cooking and day-to-day life also, they are fully in full makeup with say sari and jewels and this and that. And when women see that, they imitate that, imitating இந்த போல செய்தல் சொல்லுவாங்க. And when we are forced to imitate, and we feel, when we imitate, we think that we belong to that group, we are respected, we are coming. I mean, that is a dream world. Like, we are they are expecting us to do so. You dream about us, you come to us. If you want to go to heaven, you become like us. That's what all kinds of rituals in all kinds of this sami kumrangala, worshiping God and goddesses, everything is imitated. Who really goes in once inside and see what is happening in our soul, in our mind, in the spirituality? Actually, each one has individual specific spirituality based on our God experience. Who cares for that? A big crowd doing this and that, and scratching and piercing and making you so. I mean, God never wants such kind of hardships, and never allows people to suffer like that for His sake. Never. If at all you believe in a God, He is good, whatever religion may be. So this dowry system, again, what we say, think is like that. When we follow like that, we are becoming like them, because we are thinking that is better than us. That's why you are imitating. If you strongly root in your own culture and believe that you are doing is really humane, really good, really respecting, then you won't copy them. No, they have to copy you, because it's subaltern practices, subaltern culture speaks about equality, friendliness, fraternity, liberty, freedom, respect one another. That's what the culture says. You go to the villages and see people how hospitable, how they take concern, and they show concern and love and care for each other. You just walk through a street, immediate, சாப்பிடுமா, சாப்பிட்டீங்களா, have you eaten? Come and eat. Have a cup of tea. Do they ask like that? No. These are all beautiful things. This builds up human relationship. Closing your door and inside sitting and eating is not, do not bring develop human relationship. What is there? After all, we are living for certain periods, number of years in this world. But without realizing that, we hold on to wealth, we ignore people, we ridicule people, we categorize people, we one particular set of people we push aside as not even humans. Now, I mean, the cruelty is growing. Now in Pudukkottai, Vengavayal, mixing human shit in drinking water tank. Can you imagine that? That's what I am telling you. It is coming back. It's really sickening, but we need to be aware of it, talk about it, and one thing, strong enough to know this. I mean, consciously know this, and we each one of us have this responsibility to change this. Our education should help us, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't, because even education they are changing. The moral values, everything they are changing according to their own ideology. So what we have to do? Do academically what you have to do. Socially what you are responsible, do it. That's what I can say.
Hello, ma'am. First of all, thank you for the valuable session. I have a question in me for a very long time. I think you are the right person to answer me. Should someone be a subaltern to contribute for subaltern literature? For an example, if I want to be a writer, if I want to be a Dalit writer, should I be a Dalit? I may think I know about my friend's status, pain, and agony better, so I can contribute it. Or should a Dalit writer come themselves and say or write about themselves more so that it will be accurate? So which one will be fine?
See, if you are a human person, you can write. That's what I can say. You need to be a human person to respecting another fellow human being. One thing. And if you want only a subaltern can write, and there's that people can't write, that is not a thing. But because many people are writing, even in olden days, many even Brahmins have, the so-called Brahmins, they have written about Dalits. So think it is there. But one thing I want to underline is, but there will be a difference. There will be a difference. For example, the first-hand experience of violence, atrocity, or the cruelty, first-hand experience what I have, the other person who is not a Dalit, he may not have it. So that will make a difference because literature deals with emotions, no? So that will be a difference. The first hand and you can feel for me. You can feel for me, but I am feeling itself, the pain of it. The pain and agony that I am going through is first hand. And when you see it, or when I share with you, you will also feel that because you are a human person and you believe in equality and freedom. And you, when I express this or when you see this, you will see this very well incident, everybody will feel it. Nobody will support it except he is not a person, I mean human person. So that is there. But if I write a story or a poetry or anything based on that issue, and you somebody else who is not a Dalit, right? There will be suppose even when I write, or the person who has gone through that feeling of drinking that water, even her, if she or she write, that will be better than what I write, because mine is hearing and feeling it. I mean, I feel as though I have drunk that water, like I feel it. That much I feel. But the person who has already drunk it will have much more pain and humiliation and hurt and wounds. It will never forget, no, in their lives. That difference will be there. So anybody can.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you very much for the insightful session. My name is Ramesh Kumar. As I was listening to your conversation with Ramesh Kumar, this strange question was gripping my subaltern conscience, so to speak. That is, I believe, what is the antidote for this cultural caste annihilation? See, in other words, the pendulum of this psychodynamics of the caste all this while has been swinging. Now it has been lopsided, and we have been at the receiving end, the oppressed, so to speak, the culture. So, in our quest for equality, don't you think we have reached a boiling point, threshold, from where we push from our end? So, I believe in our quest for equality, in the pretext of equality, a cultural equality, viability, don't you think we are pushing beyond the limits, and wherein we transcend equality, the status of equality, and get into jingoism? My culture is best. So, if Aryan supremacy, antidote now Dravidian supremacy, do you think or don't you think this conscious awareness is a existential threat to humanity, whatever the cause be, higher oppressor, oppressor? Mine is the reinstatement time and again, time and again. This leads to this cross border terrorism like? Mine is the best.
See, you cannot consider or keep or treat everybody on the same platform. You are saying different aspects you are talking about. See, terrorism or feminism or casteism or whatever may be, you cannot really compare caste discriminations with any other social evil. It has a unique, special social issue, I would say, because if you are a poor, you can become a rich man tomorrow. And feminism, now we are a lot of feminism talking about, and I don't, I mean, feminism here in our family setup itself is supporting oppression of women, and I can liberate myself from that family setup. I can live as a liberal woman also. There is no problem in that. And the same way other factors, but if you take religion, you can change religion, though there are so many laws and rules not to change your religion, all stuffs are there, but constitutionally, you can choose any religion you want, you can change. Even your sex, you can change. You can become a man or a woman. Scientifically, it is possible. But caste, if you are born in one particular caste, till your death, you belong to that caste. Nothing can change that. From your womb to the tomb, you remain the same person. You can become a millionaire. You can become a very high intelligent person. You can become a prime minister or a president of any, or you can become president of even USA. But if you are a Dalit, you remain as a Dalit. So there is no way of changing the caste. So when you talk about this culture, and we not talking about again and again all beyond. See, all these more than 2,000 years, this practice is here. Even today, it is so cruel. So you can't even imagine what our ancestors had gone through. When you look back history, it is terrible. I mean, even Ambedkar times, he was not allowed to sit inside the classroom, and people were forced to tie some mud part around their neck to spit their saliva. And they have to tie a broom to so that their footsteps will be swept by that broom. So all kinds of things. 1930s, if you read Ambedkar's Annihilation Caste, some 20 or 25 rules are there. He has mentioned one particular set up group of people, how they should wear and what should not wear, and they should not use, they cannot bring up cows or cattle, only donkeys and dogs, things like that. I mean, if you read that, what kind of people you would say? I mean, all those reminiscence of all those things are still here. You may think everything is changed because you are a young boy, I am an old woman. I know what has been changed and what is still here. Only the forms are changed. Only the forms. If untouchability, is there untouchability? People may say even in urban places. No, there is no caste. We are all like a mother and child. We don't see caste, they say. But there is caste practice. You will find out, they will ask you, what is your name? In olden days, from name itself, they used to find out. Because those days, subalterns, Dalit people were forced to keep only names like Uppan, Suppan, Mannangatti, Appadi, Ipadi, Appadida. Now they have changed the names. And then, so they are not able to find out by the name. Now then they ask, which place are you? If it is village, then they will find, which state, near there, then find out. And even today, even in educational institutions, people are restless to find the caste of another person. And they have all kinds of questionnaire. Then if state, village doesn't work out, Christian, religion, then Hindu, And then like that, it goes on. Unless and until they find out your caste, they won't leave you. And if you are going on giving answers like that, they are not able to find out. Final statement is, oh, since you are not revealing all these things, then I understand you must be belong to that group only. Final judgment. That is the thing. It is happening. So you cannot compare caste with other things. So don't think we are going as extremist. We are still in the bottom. You climb in the ladder of the society, 2, 3 steps you have gone, but they will pull down again. Again, you have to start. See, I myself, for my age, I am struggling only. See, I am a famous writer, this and that. All, they celebrate my writings and everybody, everything they do, they invite me here and there. But still, the stigma is on me. They look at me not as a woman, as a Dalit woman. They look at me not as a writer, Dalit writer. That is the fact. So don't think that you have gone too much of things. Nothing. Forms are changing. Only that much. So we need to be very, very careful and cautious to see. I think you are vexed up. I think you are very anxious about it and fed up of all these things. That's why you are expressing this. Your question says that don't be fed up. Again and again, rise and fight. That is the thing. If you speak now like this, you will stop it. What is that? So many times? No. Again and again. Think of Ambedkar and read Ambedkar's writing. How many? What are the? I mean, we have not suffered like Ambedkar. We are all gloriously entering into a college and sitting and studying, and he was sitting in the veranda, and he was not allowed to travel in a cart. He was thrown away. Even after he went to London and finished his studies and Columbia University doctor, everything, whatever studies he has done, he came back and this in the Parsi hospital, Vididi, and then a lodge, he was thrown away. He stayed in a park the whole night and he was crying where to go. And he was asking a Christian friend to take him. No, my wife may not like it. And that is the end. So everywhere, the doors were closed. We didn't suffer like him. We are enjoying a lot of freedom. Otherwise, who will allow you to come and join in a college and have school and study and only after Christian missionaries came here, they built education institutions and hospitals, and people were allowed to enter into educational institution and get education. Even now, again, I am telling you, there are particular group of people who are against the education of these subaltern people. For that, they are making different kinds of rules, different kinds of exams, this and that, so that they will drop away and we can again flourish and push them down. There are things happening legally, illegally. So we need to be very, very careful. Don't be fed up. Don't be anxious also. But see the truth. See the society in which you are living. And you have your own responsibility to change it. That's what I can say. That much only I know. That's what I'm telling you. It is not going extremely, we are telling my culture, my language, not like that. I have to proclaim. Who else is there to speak for me? If at all I am not speaking, my language is best, I am best, I am a human. Even to prove that I am a human being, I have to shout. Can you tell me I am a human, I am a woman, I am a human? If I go on telling, can you say, hey, stop it, you are shouting, going beyond extreme? Can you say that? Because you don't recognize my dignity. I have to prove that I am a human being, first of all. Otherwise, how can they mix that human shit in the drinking water tank? Am I not a human person? So that is it. It is really agonizing and painful to see the happenings in our country. I'm sorry that, I mean, that's what, so you don't see that you are going extreme, or you are telling one thing is my culture. It is not my, it is not so. As long as you treat me as a person like you, I will speak. I need to speak.
Thank you so much, participants, and we are running out of time. So shall we wind up the session? And you can have a talk, an informal talk with ma'am over tea. Shall we have a tea break now? And could you please assemble by 10 minutes, within 10 minutes, please. Thank you so much. Shall we move out for tea?